Peace family. This brother's in America with a little collab with Forever 99. You know what I'm saying? With Suave the God and one other my old ex co-worker, Cinnamon Bowman, aka Mr. Duncan. You say what's happening, people? Introduce yourself.
Go ahead, Swap.
Yo, what's good, man? It's another Sunday in the free world. It's your boy Suave God. You already know the vibe. It's the Popo Polo, the cannabis connoisseur. Holla at me if you need more.
I dig it. Go ahead, Mr. Bowman.
Feel like I should have pre-written something as an introduction, but I'm Alex. My wife's name's Cinnamon, and she knows how to work the laptop, and I don't.
That's what I'm talking about. Family, this is a little curveball today. I'm saying we tackle relationship topics and whatever else the case may be. Kitchen it a little bit because I feel like I'm bringing AKA Alex, AKA Cinnamon Bowman in the picture to bring a different culture. You're saying the black culture and the white culture. Our topics today is on domestic violence. And my question to both of y'all brothers here today, is domestic violence something that's acceptable in a relationship? Do you feel like that's acceptable in a relationship?
I'm just going to say no. It's no domestic violence. Listen, everybody has issues. Everybody gets in a little spat here and there. But if it's a pattern, then that's a problem.
Okay, I like that. And that's the white culture. That's the white culture.
Oh, really?
No, I'm just saying, I like it. I like your response. I definitely like your response. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying, diversity. I'm bringing the white culture with the black culture. You know what I'm saying? With the island culture. You got you're saying a mixed blend. I'm not saying nothing against it. I'm against domestic violence. That's first and foremost. You know what I'm saying? I'm an advocate of not letting a woman and a man put their hands on each other. I don't feel like that's a better choice of demonstrating your love for one another. You know what I'm saying? And I would love to teach the modern generation that's not something that we go for. You know what I'm saying? Suave, go ahead, brother. Do you think that domestic violence is acceptable in a relationship/marriage?
I think that's up to the people in the relationship, right? Some cars take 83, some cars take 93, some cars take 89. Whatever makes your car go. Right and wrong is, I think it's subjective, you would say. Right and wrong is subjective, right? So I could be, if you see me stealing, you'll say that's wrong. Don't steal, Suave. But if you knew I was starving and my baby was starving, I just lost my job, I got hit by a car, my wife is starving, then it's like, you know what I mean? So it's all subjective. So to say wrong or right, I don't know. It's more about what you would accept or what you even like.
Okay.
A lot of people have different levels of passion. And passion sometimes spills over into the negative side of it. And
agreed.
But it's not something like, it's not something that you want, but sometimes it's something you gotta accept.
So question, Mr. Bowman, if the guy who likes getting his nuts stomped on, is he being abused?
Is he paying for it, or is he just no? Listen, a consensual anything is consensual, and that means there's an agreement involved, and that's not abuse. Yes, he's getting abused, but he wants it. For whatever reason. Okay. And there's plenty of guys. I used to have a buddy who his chick worked as a dominatrix, and he was okay with it because there was no sex involved, and she gets paid to beat up old white men, so he was okay with it. It's not, again, it's everybody's got to set their own limits, and there's a lot more complexity in the world than there is simplicity.
Yes, a lot of nuance there.
Exactly, the nuance is the word.
Yes, I like that because I feel like in today's, because again, it's all about the youth. It's all about the youth. You dig what I'm saying? And I feel like nowadays, what's being exposed or being propagated are spreading towards our community now in this younger generation is toxic relationships. You're saying, and I feel like know that domestic violence fall under the umbrella of a toxic relationship. Because I feel like it all stems from the household, from the mother and father dynamic. You know what I'm saying? In regards to a person is sometimes, most times than not, a person is they're gonna demonstrate their behavior, what they grew up with. You know what I'm saying? They grew, like prime example, I feel like mothers and fathers need to take accountability in terms of teaching their daughter not to put their hand on a man. And if you do put your hand on a man, the man got the right, in Malcolm X's words, the right to defend himself by any means necessary. You dig what I'm saying? So I feel like mothers and fathers need to take that sense of accountability towards educating their children, their daughters, and their sons. Because again, men or boys, them are educated already. You shouldn't hit a woman. You shouldn't that. But it's like women get a pass. You understand? I'm mad, I'm upset. So now I can demonstrate my emotions physically and expect not to be reprimanded for that. You saying I'm a firm believer. I'm a firm believer in terms of, again, another quote from Malcolm X. Malcolm X said, if somebody put their hands on you, make sure they don't do it again.
Sorry, I got to take a call from Chris Brown here.
In the words of holy no promotion.
I ain't never been arrested for nothing domestic.
No, but I'm just saying in terms of we got to educate. We have to educate because I said again, boys are we being reared towards being gentlemen. From as a child, we are reared. Open the door for a woman. Take her to trash.
If you're lucky, you were. Sometimes you didn't get a good example.
I feel like, again, like some households, sometimes in our community, it's a lot of single mother household. You see, so the mothers raise some of the boys. Not all times, single mother household. And I feel like the mothers can gear or push their sons in that direction towards being gentlemen. And the prime example, and another question into towards that, in terms of domestic violence a little bit. I'm just swearing a little bit because I want to get into my question because I feel like I didn't give you justice the last time we were sharing. I didn't give you a chance to be more vocal because I told you again, you're the philosopher. You're very philosophical. You know what I'm saying? Different forms of domestic violence being financial domestic violence, being financial and economic abuse. Meaning, I'm ready, but I'd rather tell it to the viewers, know this already, because even in domestic violence situations that most men or some men, they tend to hold, because again, in this relationship now, the four P's, what a man look for is in pleasure and peace. What a woman look for peace is provision and protection. You dig what I'm saying? And with pleasure, with a woman, provision and protection, most men would hold them providing for a woman. Like, I would to say the B word, but I won't. Like, your woman, I'm providing for you. Don't go there, don't get no job. And he used that over here. Like, I can't do for myself. Like, I can't do for myself. I always got to be codependent of him. Do you? Because again, nowadays, a woman don't want to go 50-50. They're like, I can do 50-50 by myself. I can do 100 by myself. I ain't going 50-50 with a man. And they don't understand the trap that they're setting themselves for. You're saying, meaning relationships now, when a woman go into a relationship now, they don't believe in 50-50, but they rather go 100%, 100 by themselves rather than going 50-50 with a man. And when they do that, they open up Pandora box to like, oh, this man gonna have this, he gonna have the advantage because I'm doing for you. You gotta rely on, I'm daddy, and they don't want that. They want a man to protect for them fully, but they don't want to be a wife. They want a man to be a husband, but they don't want to be a wife. But going back again, how do you feel about financial and economic abuse? That's the question.
Suave, you want to go first?
Oh, you run down the financial is funny because a lot of times we hear people want stability, right? Well, I'm just looking for stability. I want to be stable, right? And then that can be used against you. Well, hey, if you want this money to go shopping, or if you want this money to get your hair done, if you want these little things across the board, that can be used against you. But I mean, it goes both ways, two-way street. Next to you is no steak for dinner. Next to you, toilet's dirty. Next to you, the things that misogynistically men look for women to do, but the reality is they're just better at detail. They're better at planning. So dinner, cleaning, those things are strategic. They require planning, details of it all, whatever. But the moral of the story is it's a two-way street. So I think both parties just got to remember their power. So if you're paying all the bills, you're making all the money, you got a lot of power there. But she has as much power as well if you can't cook, or if you don't cook as well, or if you're not good with the laundry, or if you're just a lazy bum when you get home from work like me and just want to have a beer and go to sleep. Laundry's not going to get done. Food, you know what I mean? So it's a two-way street. You know what I'm saying? And it was financial. What was the second one, Leo?
Economic, same thing. Economic.
Same thing.
I'll say, yeah, just the money, right? So since the beginning of time, men tried to always hoard the money, but women got, fuck everything I just said. Women got pussy. Fuck everything I just said. Withhold the pussy. If he's not trying to give you no money, shorty, there's no handsies, no BJs, no nada. Just put the pussy on lock. Yeah.
No money, no honey, right?
There you go.
It boils down to a control issue, both whether it's physical violence or intimidation, or if it's emotional, or if it's economic deprivation, where you're trying to keep them from what they need so that they got to go through you to it. It's a control thing. And you either they're gonna not be able to do their hair or get the nails done or whatever because they ain't got the money to do it, or they're gonna get slapped in the face when they take the money to do it. Either way, it's still about keeping them down, not letting them be the person that they want to be. And maybe the person that they want to be ain't the one you want to be with, but they still got a right to be that person. And if she's too if she's too selfish for you, then let her go and find somebody else. Find somebody who appreciates what you're bringing.
I have a question that I'm going to piggyback of what you said. Why do people stay?
Because they're afraid to leave, because they get, God help you if you're married, and you have kids and real estate and all the disentangling. That shit's expensive. You know why divorces cost so much? It's because they're fucking worth it.
Elaborate. Go ahead. Elaborate, brother. Elaborate. You had this.
No, the biggest mistake people make is staying in a relationship that they know is wrong, that they know is toxic, that they know is hurting them, that they know is keeping them back from living their best life. And it's because they're afraid to be out on their own. Maybe the guy made them feel afraid because he set them up. And, well, what are you going to do without my money? You haven't worked because I didn't let you. But that's why I said the whole control issue. And it's
Okay.
just about trying to. One of my favorite TV shows is Bewitched. I don't know if you've ever seen it. It's
Yes.
about, so the whole thing was about the guy getting this chick to not use her magic powers. Dude,
Mhm.
if I had a wife who could use magic powers, I'd be living on the fucking moon if I wanted to. I'd be living in a different country every week. The last thing I would want to do is keep that woman down.
Mhm.
But that was the societal thing in the 60s because it was the anti-feminist thing, was to keep the women down. I Dream of Jeannie, the same thing. The whole show is about keeping her from using her powers.
Mhm.
There's only one show in that era that did it right, which was the Addams Family. Because those two,
Wow.
the Gomez and Morticia, man, you've never seen a better example for a relationship. They adored
Equality
each
straight
other.
across the board.
They loved each other. They could drive each other crazy. But the other two, those were all about just repressing women.
Oppression, suppression.
I mean, so the whole thing of domestic violence is I can't talk my way into what I want, so I'm just going to beat.
Why do you feel like people accept that? Why is that acceptable? I definitely understand what you're saying, but I'm an example. I'm not going to sit here and say I'm not a person. I'm not an advocate of domestic violence. I'm an advocate of when you get upset and you get angry, control your hands, because the same form of discipline you want me to use when you hit me, for me to control my hands, I want you to display that very well, because I'm going to show you. Don't put your hands on me. You
And
call me.
you are 1.5 times my size.
But yeah, think about
So
that before you
listen.
put your hands on me. Think about that before then, because once you do
Oh
it,
yeah,
it's an old barge. It's a free for all. I'm gonna show you. You ain't gonna do it again, or you're gonna do it again. But we're gonna have the same example. I'm not advocating the domestic violence. I'm just saying
it's gonna hurt if you fight back. It's gonna hurt.
But I'm just saying that I want to be the one to teach your daughter, keep your hands to yourself. I don't want to be that person. Because listen to me, prime example. I would never put my hand on no woman I'm dealing with. I would never put my hand on no woman I deal with. Even if you cheat on me and I catch you cheating on me, I'm never going to hit you. However,
Rock and say, I'll shake the shit out of you.
however, the same time you thought about, okay, I'm going to snuff you or whatever else the case might be, I'm going to put my hands on you. Just know that ain't going to end how you thought it was going to end. But again, I'm not promoting domestic violence. I'm promoting teaching your daughter not to put your hands on a man.
All right. So since Suave disappeared for a second, I'll respond. My wife has some rage issues, has some psychological issues where she gets to a point where she can't control herself.
Yes.
And she's a lot of anger in her because of a lot of things that have happened over her life, and both to her and brother and all this stuff. Everybody's had bad shit happen to them, but some people deal with it by lashing out. And it's to be in a relationship with somebody who that's it's not hard for them to get to that level. And issues. She's got a felony assault charge against her for the guy that she was with before me. Stabbed him in the arm with a fork. There was a knife right next to the fork. There was also a big fat neck next to his arm. It was a warning shot, and the fucker who's 260 pounds shows up to press charges against a 90-pound woman for just trying to defend herself. No, he really did.
Yes.
And he thought he was just trying to teach her a lesson by pressing charges. And saying that the way she reacted was what I would recommend. But if you're stuck in a situation and you don't see any other way out, the most dangerous thing in the world is a cornered animal.
Is it what? Say it again. The last one.
A cornered animal.
Mhm.
Like if you push them to the point where they've got nothing other than to go through you, then that's on you.
Yes.
And also, if you're 3 times her weight, you don't fucking press charges.
I mean, fight or flight, and some people they chose flight. You know what I'm saying? They chose flight. You know.
It's the pattern thing. The pattern thing of trying to keep somebody down. And, a one-time anger thing or response to something they did, it's something that just is usually most people that are doing it on every level, the psychological, the financial, and the physical level. You gotta on all sides. And again, you're just trying to undermine their confidence so that they don't think they can leave.
Mm-hmm.
Circling back to answer your question about why people don't leave.
Mm-hmm. Suave, I know you right now doing your my next.
I should do that too.
Yes, my next question, you're gonna be the same thing. Why do you think domestic violence? Like I think, it depends on your dynamic of your relationship. Dynamic. Everybody have different dynamic. But why? Because I feel like I'm not even gonna say I feel. I was gonna ask you the question. Why do you think people stay when they're being abused? Abused, not in altercations with their loved ones. Abused.
First of all, I agree with everything Mr. Bowman said off the rip. That's for sure. And just add on, guilt and shame are very, very big things, and I think they're underrated in today's society because so many people are unauthentic. That guilt and shame are one of those emotions or feelings we try to hide, so people don't really get into that too much. But guilt and shame will have you doing things you never thought you'd do just by feeling guilty and shameful about where you are. So if all your friends told you, yo, leave Rochelle alone, she's using you, she's this. Leaving Rochelle is the actual admitting and the acknowledgement that they all were all right. So if you have those issues where those type of things, remind where, I don't want them to be right about me, I don't want to be wrong again, all these different issues about being guilty or shameful about making a wrong mistake, then you can find yourself staying there. And then more times than not, like what Mr. Bowman talked about, being yoked in, man, especially for a guy, let's just say a guy who has been a good guy. He was paying the bills. He put the accounts in his name. He bought the cars. He got the house. All of those things in the family name. And then come to find out, she's gay. She likes girls. She comes out, I like girls. I don't want to be in this anymore. No harm, no foul. Okay, fine. But now literally, legally, like Mr. Bowman said, we're in a pickle. We got to pay to get this divorce. We got to pay for this. We got to pay for that. Now, you can do it amicably. Everybody's cool. We just split everything down the middle, per se, headache. So a lot of times it could be you're just yoked into it and it seems cheaper to keep her. Like, hey, at the end of the day, I'll cheat on Sundays. It is what it is. I'll be dead in 20 years. Fuck it. Or it turned into a place where you're just so shameful. I told everybody she was this. I made her, I put her on this pedestal. I made her out to be this and that. So to now turn around and say she's pegging me without my permission, it's rough.
Mm-hmm.
It's rough to turn around and say my booty's being taken from me at night. You know what I mean?
My pride is that a lot to do with it. From what you're saying, as far as why men stay.
Yeah. Well, yes, pride. Women stay for nurture.
Out of fear.
Like women are nurturing.
Women stay out of fear because
okay,
once you've beaten them, then once that seal's broken.
You're right.
Then afraid of what they do when they get caught trying to leave.
Yep.
And right. These times they won't be able to walk away.
You're right.
And if the men are, again, we are on average about twice the size of the women.
Yeah.
It's advantage of something that we got because we want something they got. Back to the pussy again.
But I took right. It ends with the pussy.
Of course.
And that's where it starts and that's where it ends.
Alpha and Omega.
I'm piggybacking off what both of y'all said. Why don't people tell others when this going on? Why do you feel like people don't seek up when it's going on?
That's the shame part of it because did y'all watch Breaking Bad?
Yes.
Hello. Yeah.
There's one actor, and he's a Philly cop who's moved out to Arizona. He's telling a story about a domestic abuser who he'd get called out to his house every other week or so, and he had this little tiny girl and he was beating her up, and then one day he just decides to take the guy out to the desert, put a gun in his mouth and say next time and blah, blah, blah. And he called it a half measure because the next time the guy actually did kill the girl. And it's just I don't understand the urge for physical violence, but that's just I was raised, and it's just not my thing. I would much rather have a spirited discussion. Like you might be able to convince me you're right. Mm-hmm. If you tell me I'm an asshole, I will definitely tell you yes, I am.
Mm-hmm.
Leo knows that.
We
I
know
mean,
this.
I know. Listen, I have a unique ability to piss people off with my mouth, and I'm lucky I surround myself with people who are willing to defend me for the people who can't take a joke.
I want to tell a little short story, a little 30-second story. We went to the bar, me and him, we went to the bar to shoot some pool. In maybe a minute, 2 minutes, he got walking team in the bar. Within a minute or 2 minutes, he got everybody, the hockey players, ready to fuck him up within 2 minutes. Two of us being in the bar together, me, him, and another co-worker. 2 minutes.
I'm sorry. I'm very good at pool. I won, and I
He has a
wasn't really.
smug,
I also
condescending
wasn't.
attitude.
Look, I wasn't a great winner at that point. I was fucking some shit. I didn't realize they were hockey players. Jesus. Like
They were all like, there was wall.
That was brother.
they did. Don't want more fuck, dude. I wouldn't. I don't want to fuck with anybody. I hate getting hit. And I also afraid of what I might do when I do get hit and the next time. I had some friends who learned some really nasty martial arts, and they like to teach people. So I'm being in a violent situation just because I don't want anything to happen to me, and I don't want to do anything to anybody else.
Kind of question. Does substance abuse / use of domestic violence? Because you know, folks, they tend to say, well, I asked because I was drunk or I was high or something. Substance abuse? Because, you know, they said, what they said again, a drunk tongue speaks a sober mind.
Really? What is that? Wait, a drunk tongue speaks the sober mind?
Yeah.
I
mean, as if you drunk, you're going to say shit you want to say, but the liquor give you the courage to say it.
All right. Yeah. Okay. I was so yeah. I say that alcohol specifically is really, really bad if you are prone to not being able to control yourself. That's been my experience. Except I really drinking, so I'm not going to stop. And I can't make her stop because then I'd have to stop. And whatever. So once a year, I get a lamp broken on my head. Whatever. Better not drink it.
I'm sorry for laughing. I'm sorry.
No, it's meant to be funny, Leo. You know that I speak the truth, but I try to get a laugh too.
Yeah, so sorry. I know
it was a good joke. I did like the joke. I was wondering if I was going to bring that up, but
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, you smoke too much weed, you are not going to beat somebody up.
But you have some people was use that as an excuse. No, wait. I'm going to get personal, all right? I'm going to get personal, but I ain't going to name no name. I had they used to whoop ass because they smoke weed. I'm like, yo, smoke weed. Weed never give me the urge to whoop somebody ass. Understand? Whoop somebody ass of weed. That was the excuse I got. You know, I smoke weed too, motherfucker. Weed never give me no indication to go and whoop somebody ass. I be chill. I don't want nobody talking. I know I'm a chatterbox. I don't want nobody talking. That's on chill. Let me get my high. Chill, relax. Check me in half an hour or so. You know. But so once you go ahead, I know I didn't. Had you answer the last one? Not tell others. But go ahead. Do does abuse / use affect domestic violence?
Yeah, like okay, quick, because Bowman killed that. The people don't tell others because Shane, period, point blank. I just caring more about what people think of you than caring about yourself. Oh shit, I don't want to tell Bowman and Leo because they're gonna think I'm a pussy. She fucking me every week. Versus thinking shit, I need to tell my boys so they can tell me how to stop getting pegged. Like the problem isn't pegged. It's not her doing it. It's you figuring out a way out. But now you're so scared to share it that you end up getting pegged. And then when it comes down to what was the second one? Substance abuse is not good. You see how I just didn't remember? My wife told me to get the groceries. I don't remember. Then I beat her because she's yelling at me. Liquor, bro. But I also agree with Bowman, and I told Leo this. I'm sorry, Leo. I think as a married man, husband that's at least paying 50% of the bills, you get 3 slaps a year. You know what I'm saying? Slaps a year. You got to use them wisely because she will fight you back. 3 slaps. Like you could tell someone and they'll respect her. Like you're a good man. You'd be like, Mom, I slapped her, man. She came in here. She called me a bitch, and I slapped her. And your mom goes, "Oh my God, calm down, Suave. What are you doing?" But it's all right.
I traded the 3 slaps for like 50 spanks.
And again, it's all in how you do. Because a lot of women don't not want to abuse. Do not take this the wrong way, fellas. That's just stupid. But women do want you to take charge. They do. Poke at their bear. They want you to run just a little bit.
That's the wrong way to go about it, though. I think. I mean, you don't response that you can't predict. If you want me to take charge, you want to be manhandled, then you can signal that. You don't even have to come out and say it. You can say that, but if you're angry, then I am not angry and horny to me do not mix.
Yo,
So
it's there's so many women.
I know, but
does.
there's a lot
It's
of people that
crazy.
do, and I've never had good angry sex.
Me
I know-
neither. I'm mad. I don't want to fuck you. I'm mad.
Oh, just leave me the fuck alone.
Yeah.
Get away
yeah,
from my
yeah,
speed.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
What we got for the day, you know what I'm saying? We got Cinnamon Bowman with us. We got Suave the God, you know what I'm saying? Tackle new topic. I do hope you all appreciate it. Like, subscribe, follow. Also, you know what I'm saying? Up, see you, big brother. Brothers in America. Fellas, you want to close it out?
Well, I'm really happy to have been invited back, and I hope to be invited back soon.
Yes, go ahead, Suave.
You already know, man. It's another Sunday in the free world, so you know we here for the brothers in America, man. See you next week, boy.